Hi, and welcome to CryptoBiography. I'm your host, Brandon Starr, and this is episode 102, The Last Zombie Hunter, Part 11. And if you have any comments or questions about this episode or previous episodes, cryptobiography@gmail.com, or hit us up on Facebook or Twitter. And here we go. I knew where another flashlight was in my garage, and from there, the gun was easy to find, though I couldn't find my knife. It must have slid further. I couldn't take a chance on any delay. I hustled back to the main floor. Don, as I now knew he was named, was breathing a bit rough and was otherwise quite still. I gave him no more thought as I slowly mounted the stairs. I tried to be quiet and listened. Whoever called for Don was talking to Mackenzie. "You've lived here since the event?" he asked. "You mean Big Z?" "Yes," Mac replied. "What's your name?" "Mackenzie." "Mackenzie what?" "Mackenzie Stein." I caught my breath. I was almost at the top of the stairs when she said that. I didn't know what her last name was, but of course it wasn't Stein. She only gave me her first name, and I never knew what her last name was. I figured she would tell me when she was ready. And now I knew she probably chose my last name because it was the first name she thought of. Still, it touched me. I knew from how the voices sounded that Mac was probably seated at the dining room table, and I imagined she might well be tied. The man would be standing next to her. "Once Don is back, we'll have some real questions for you." "And then?" "Then we let you go." I didn't believe that for a second. They wanted information from her, but they didn't want her after that. She'd either be killed and turned into one of their zombies or who knows what. I presume they had the same plans for me. I had some questions of my own. I hoped, really hoped, that this was the only other man in my home besides Don. I mentally checked myself and stepped to the top step. No one was quite in sight yet, which matched what I had figured. I turned the corner, pistol raised. There was a man, who was indeed standing over Mackenzie in one of the dining room chairs, pistol in hand. She was seated, but not tied. He started to raise his gun. "Stop," I said. He didn't. I fired. I had aimed low. The shot hit him in the hip, straight on. He went down, and his gun flew out of his hand. He started yelling. "What are you doing with all those zombies?" I asked. He just kept yelling. "Shut up," I yelled, and pointed my gun at him. I was only a couple steps away, just far enough to make sure he couldn't lash out at me. "Tell me." "What does it matter what I tell you, deadhead?" the man said. "You're already gone. You just don't know it." "What do you mean?" "We won. This is our world now. Ours forever." "Why?" I was getting angry at his obscure hints. "Because it worked. The plan, the inoculation. I'm protected. I get to die. I go to heaven. You are stuck here. You're zombie meat. You're already fucked." "Inoculation?" "A few chosen ones across the globe. We got the inoculation. You didn't, so you're done. This is our world now. Ours." "This is a man-made plague? Your group caused it?" The man just started laughing. Shit. But it made sense. How could this disease, or whatever, be so specific that it caused people, and apparently only people, to change their chemistry in multiple specific ways and become zombies? And that it seemed to come out of nowhere. The odds that it happened through random mutation are laughably low. And this group had been behind it. They made the disease, or perfected it, or who the hell knows, even just stole it from a government lab somewhere. Made their own vaccination, or stole that too. Then let the damn thing loose on society. There was a loud sound, and I snapped back to reality. I looked down at the man. He had a bullet hole just above his left eye. I didn't remember pulling the trigger, but I had. Shit. "Well, now we don't know if he was lying," Mac said. "Lying? He might have lied about him being protected from being a zombie, but you scrambled his brains." "What about Don?" Mac and I went downstairs. Don was in bad shape. We shone a couple of lights on him. He was unconscious, his neck was at a strange angle, and he was breathing shallowly. "You did that without a gun?" Mac asked. "Yeah, I just gave him a hard kick." We heard the noise. He was going to check on it. But I made a move like I was going to go for a weapon or something. It was a bluff, but it kept him from going down there. Thanks. It helped. Don's breathing hitched and stopped. Now we find out, Mac said. Don didn't rise. He was telling the truth, I said. I guess we are the zombies now, Mac said. So if you get a heart attack in the middle of the night, you'll come looking to eat me. Yeah. And those bastards protected themselves and let the world go to shit. She was right, but I didn't want to give them the honor of confirming it aloud. I went to the bottom of the stairs, lifted Don's body by reaching around his body from behind his back, and started tugging him up the stairs. Mackenzie didn't question me. She just stepped down to his feet, lifted them, and helped me. I just took him over to the dining room, past the other dead man's body. I put Don down, opened the sliding door, and we took him out. I pitched him unceremoniously over the railing to my increasingly wild backyard. Then we did the same with Don's associate. He gave me the pieces I needed to understand what had happened, but I never learned his name. He's just Don's associate. Not even friend. I didn't know if they were on friendly terms. Now what? Mac asked as we took one look down at the bodies lying forever motionless. I thought while I pulled up the rope ladder that they had pulled down and made sure the other one was all the way up as well. Back inside, then we run. They'll be looking for us. We came inside and locked the door, for whatever good it would do. Then we finished packing. Before being interrupted, Mac had done a pretty quick and good job of getting things together. And after taking a look out all the windows to make sure we weren't about to be mobbed, we went to the Explorer. I started the Explorer up, then stepped back out. I flipped the locking connector on the garage door's track so that it could be moved freely, and lifted the door. The light after the dim garage seemed blinding, but welcome. When the door was all the way up, I relocked it so it wouldn't come back down on the car. Then we pulled into the driveway, and I unlocked it once more and lowered the garage door. It was now in neutral. Any person who came and tugged on it would be able to lift it, but there was nothing more to do. Mackenzie was in the passenger seat. I slid in and closed the door. I think we should go camping, I said. Not too far out of the city, but just somewhere we can hide out a few days. Then we'll make our way back, see what happens to our home, and take it from there. Okay, Mac said. My family used to camp less than half an hour from town. I think I can guide us. Sounds good, I said. And I'll teach you how to drive. Not like you should have to wait for a driver's license. Okay, Mac said. I put the Explorer in drive and we took off, hoping that we could find, or make, a better world when we returned. And that's the end of the story. I mean, we could certainly come back to Fred and Mackenzie's story at some point, but this feels like a good stopping point. And so there you go. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any comments or questions about this episode or previous episodes, cryptobiography@gmail.com, or hit us up on Facebook or Twitter. And thanks for listening. Words and music, copyright 2019, CryptoBiography LLC, all rights reserved. Characters and events are fictional, fictionalized, or satirical.